Do you like shoot 'em ups but find that they just aren't sexy enough? Well, worry no longer. Caladrius Blaze is here to solve that problem. You really have to hand it to Japan sometimes. What other country would take a genre not exactly known for racy content and shove it in there anyway? Funny enough, Caladrius Blaze is not the first shoot 'em up of this kind either. If we look back in time, there were games like Sexy Parodius on the Saturn and Steam Hearts on the PC Engine that included boobs with their shooting action. So, what exactly is so racy about Caladrius Blaze? As you fly through stages, you can see the characters displayed on each side of the screen. If either you or the boss take damage, the images change to reflect that with clothing damage, with the loss being near nudity. Unless you're playing as Lilith, in which case she's mostly naked all the time anyway. It's pretty silly and gimmicky. Anyone used to fan service of any kind will find it pretty tame, and because this is a bullet hell, few are going to be paying much attention to it anyway. Talk about a feature added just for sales. Speaking of the bullet hell gameplay, I'd say this game is more of a hybrid. Flying through levels feels a lot more like a regular shoot 'em up, but once you get to a boss, things escalate into a bullet hell extremely quickly. Oh my god, why is this so hard? Oh, this game has a story. Kind of. Yeah, let's just move on. When starting the game and choosing to play through a story mode, you'll notice there are 3 different options. The first is Original Mode, which allows you to play through each stage like normal. After that, you've got Evolution Mode and Arcade Mode. Both of these have the regular stages and bosses, but they add in missions. Missions are stages where you are given a goal to reach as you fly through each stretch of the game, such as destroying X amount of stuff before hitting the waypoint. These missions all tend to be simple tasks, but they do a lot to change up the gameplay. Sure, you're still just shooting stuff for the most part, but you're shooting things with a purpose. Obviously, the most important thing in this genre is the shooting, and Caladrius Blaze does it well. All of the characters offer a wide variety of different shot types, and the ability to upgrade them as you play through adds a lot of customization on top. The upgrades will definitely extend the life of this game, as it will take a lot of trial and error to really master this one. The developers also added another interesting element to the shooting, and that is the ability to shield. Pressing a certain button will bring up your shield, which can protect you from a stray shot for a very short period of time. Something that becomes necessary when in the midst of the bullet hell sections. Your ability to escape is so limited that you have to be really quick to sneak past. Heck, some of the characters don't even have a shield exactly. They have a weapon that will deflect a shot. And I found those even more difficult to time properly. Bullet hell shooters are built on Twitch gameplay, and this shielding ability makes it even more twitchy in my opinion. If you haven't liked these sorts of games in the past, this one isn't going to generate any goodwill towards the genre. I like these games, but all of that coupled with how much I suck made me use a hell of a lot of continues. While I'm generally more of a fan of 2D graphics in shooters like this, Caladrius Blaze's use of 3D isn't too bad. The backgrounds aren't always the prettiest to look at, but the enemy models, particularly the bosses, are nicely detailed and look pretty darn cool. The effects are also pretty impressive here. Hitting enemies feels very satisfying, and the different shots were all pretty cool to look at. When the bullets really started flying, the screen became a perfectly glowing clusterfuck, which is just what the genre ordered. Caladrius Blaze's music has some pretty rockin' tracks, but in a genre filled with some of the best soundtracks ever, the Toho series comes to mind, it comes up a little short. It fits the action well and definitely got me pumped to shoot a bunch of crap, but I can't say I'd be shelling out to buy the OST. The voice acting here is only available in Japanese, and while it was competent, I didn't find anything that stood out in particular. You have some pretty typical character archetypes with voices you'd expect. For example, there's a character named Lilith, who is super evil and super insane. Wanna guess what she sounds like? If you've ever heard a Japanese voice actor playing a character like this, then you know exactly what she sounds like. The actors didn't exactly have tons of lines to really flesh out their characters, but I do wish they would have pumped them up or something to make them a little more interesting. You know, just dial it all to 11, why not? Speaking of the small smattering of lines in the game, what the heck is up with the font choice? The translation is pretty spot on, if a bit on the flat side, but the spacing in the font is so whack that it makes it kinda hard to read. I normally wouldn't even mention this kind of thing, but it's weird enough that it's impossible not to point it out. In a sea of shoot-em-ups, Caladrius Blaze doesn't stand out as an amazing gem, but it certainly can hold its own against the staples of the genre. There's nothing here that will really reach out and grab you, but if you run out of shoot-em-ups to play, then you won't really go wrong picking up Caladrius Blaze. If you're not a big fan of this genre, or you haven't really played it much, then I wouldn't really recommend this one to start with. I'd say start with the Toho series, or something by Cave first. Thanks for checking out my video, and if you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe for even more. Want even more cool stuff? Check out that channel linked on the right.